Hello, everybody. It is Brandon, and welcome back to Marotta Media. I know I say this all the time, but I have really been slacking this year. I have not posted a full review in 2026 up until this very moment. But I'm doing my best to change that. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I just don't have time to dedicate a full review to all the movies that I watch. But I knew that the movie that I'm reviewing today is one that absolutely warranted a full review for it. And that film was the newest horror flick from Blumhouse and director Curry Barker, Obsession. Obsession tells the story of a young man named Bear who is head over heels for one of his childhood best friends named Nikki. But Bear does not have the courage to tell Nikki how he truly feels, so he buys something called a one-wish willow. And what this little antique does is grant you one wish, and then you proceed to break it in half, and your wish seemingly comes true. So Bear wishes that Nikki loved him more than anybody else in the world. And as you might imagine, this decision has some very dire consequences for Bear. Now, this film is just now getting a wide release at the time I'm recording this video, but I actually saw this movie over a month ago at the 2026 Phoenix Film Festival. And of the 13 movies that I watched at the festival, this one was easily my favorite. And I truly cannot express just how happy I am that this movie is finally getting a wide release so more people can see it and so I can watch it again. Obsession is not only one of the best horror movies of the year, this is one of the best movies of the year, without question. This is the feature-length debut of writer-director Curry Barker, who makes up the internet comedy troupe That's a Bad Idea. And in 2024, he also wrote and directed a short film, or a somewhat short film for YouTube called Milk and Cereal. And I really liked Milk and Cereal. I thought it was a very solid, found-footage, independent horror film. But I was curious to see what Curry Barker could do when he was given a sizable budget from a big studio. And if he can make more movies like Obsession, then this guy is one of the next big names in horror. I've said numerous times in the past that I am not a person who really gets scared by horror movies, but Obsession is one of those movies that definitely made me feel very uneasy. This film can be creepy and downright unsettling at times. I've talked about this with horror movies that I've seen in the past. This movie is scary in a more awkward way. It's scary in the sense of being a part of situations that you would absolutely hate to be a part of. And just the thought of being in said situations is scary on its own. Because the concept of this movie is genuinely scary. A woman who you are head over heels for finally gives you the attention that you want, but it might be a little bit too much. Just the thought of that is scary to me, but I wouldn't know because women don't show me any kind of attention, so I can't relate at all. As unsettling as Obsession can be, this movie is also very funny. And it does such an excellent job of balancing the tones between horror and comedy. I wouldn't say this movie is an outright horror comedy movie. It's a horror movie that is also funny. It's funny in the same way that it's scary, through awkwardness. I love the consistency that it has through all of its genres. There were several times throughout this film where I laughed out loud, specifically one joke where Bear is looking for the one-wish willow because it's not in the place that he thought. I can't say too much about that specific moment because it does involve spoilers, but that moment in particular I found absolutely hysterical. But without question, the star of the show in this film is the acting. I think the entire ensemble does a truly great job, especially Michael Johnston, who plays Bear. I don't know Michael Johnston personally, so I can't attest to if this is his true personality, but he embodies that loner sort of person very well. A person who's very submissive and doesn't really know how to express themselves, especially to other people. However, the clear standout of Obsession is the actress who portrays Nikki. Her name is Indy Navarrete, and she is genuinely unbelievable in this movie. I am not exaggerating when I say this is one of the greatest horror performances that I've ever seen. Probably not even horror, just one of the greatest performances I've seen in a movie in the last 10 years. Her physical acting is second to none. Through her mannerisms, her mood swings, and her facial expressions, this is a performance for the ages. I've said that the way we talk about other recent horror performances like Toni Collette in Hereditary, Florence Pugh in Midsommar, Lupita Nyong'o in Us, and Naomi Scott in Smile 2, we need to be talking about Indy Navarrete in Obsession in the same way that we talk about those performances. She does such a great job of portraying an unhinged girlfriend. It's literally like the overly attached girlfriend meme times 100. And the film does such a great job of having scares that are meant to make you say, eek. Because there are so many moments throughout the movie where Nikki is shrouded in darkness or she's just lurking in the background. And it genuinely makes you wonder what is going to happen next. And the film leads to this absolutely insane third act, which what I think is a near perfect ending. I absolutely love the way this movie ends. It feels very poetic and almost Shakespearean. But that's really all I have to say about Obsession. This is a film that I feel is best served if you go into it with as little information as possible, which is why I'm not giving away too much about my thoughts. But just know that this film is absolutely worth watching. This is a dark and hilarious look at codependency and abusive relationships, and how when people are in relationships that they dream of, they're doing anything to make it work, and they just live in denial that it's not working. I could not stop thinking about this movie when I saw it at the Phoenix Film Festival, and I'm so happy that it's finally getting a wide release, so I can watch it again and not stop thinking about it all over again. And overall, I would give Obsession a 9 out of 10, and that is a very high 9, very close to a 10, but I don't think this movie's perfect. Maybe it'll go up to 10 on a rewatch. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my review of Obsession. If you guys saw this movie, let me know what you thought about it. Did you love it, or did you hate it for some odd reason? If you guys like this review, be sure to hit that thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. If you want to see my previous reviews, I will link those right over here. Other than that, I hope you all have a tremendous rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.